who might make history at Soldier Field, is defying all odds, while a veteran defender sees his future in jeopardy after mysteriously leaving practice. But what truly has the organization buzzing is how a rookie linebacker is stepping up when opportunities knock. 3 explosive stories that will change your perspective on this season. Don't go anywhere because we're just getting started, and what's coming at the end will leave you speechless. Like if you're a true fan and subscribe, because tomorrow we'll have more Bears bombs you won't want to miss. Chicago, folks! Pickens mysteriously left practice. And I ask you this, how are you going to secure your roster spot if you can't even complete a practice? I'm telling you this. When Ben Johnson is clearing house and building his vision for the team, every player has to prove why they deserve to be here in 2025. And Zack Pickens, my friends, is racing against time. This is his 3rd year with the Bears, selected in the 2nd round of the 2023 draft. Pick 64, and what does he have to show? 20 tackles as a rookie, 19 tackles in 2024, playing only 9 games. His Pro Football Focus grade was 45.5, ranked 174 out of 219 defensive linemen. That's terrible. But do you know what bothers me the most about this situation? Ryan Poles clearly saw something in this kid when he picked him. The Bears needed help on the defensive line. They'd lost several veterans, and Poles gambled a 2nd round pick on Pickens. 2nd round, folks! That's no small thing, but here's the problem. Ben Johnson wasn't here when that pick was made. Johnson has no emotional attachment with Pickens. He doesn't have to justify why he was selected, and he's definitely not going to be patient with a player who can't stay on the field. And do you know what's the most concerning about all this? That when he came back to practice after being gone for days, because this guy was MIA for a while, he couldn't even finish the session. Alex Shapiro from Chicago Sports Network reported that Pickens didn't last long at practice. Do you think Johnson is going to have patience with a player who can't stay healthy? I don't think so. Because let me tell you something about Ben Johnson's mentality. This man comes from Detroit, where he built one of the best offenses in the NFL with discipline and accountability. He doesn't tolerate excuses, he doesn't tolerate players who are not available, and he definitely doesn't tolerate a lack of professionalism. The competition is fierce, folks. Gervon Dexter comes off a career-high season with 5 sacks. He's on the rise. He's young, he's hungry. Andrew Billings is returning from that pectoral injury that kept him out all of 2024, and when he was healthy, he was a beast against the run. The Bears sorely missed his presence in the middle. But here's what really complicates things for Pickens. They signed veteran Grady Jarrett after 10 years in Atlanta. 10 years, folks. This man has seen it all in the NFL. He's played against the best. He's been consistent year after year. Jarrett doesn't just come to contribute. He comes to mentor Dexter and elevate the level of the entire defensive line. And as if that wasn't enough, they drafted Shemar Turner. This rookie can play all over the line, but they'll start him at defensive tackle. His explosiveness has already caught the eye of the organization during the early practices. Do you see the pattern here? Johnson and Dennis Allen are building a defense that will compete immediately. They don't have time for development projects that can't stay healthy. Where does Pickens fit into this equation? I ask you, where's his place? Because here's the brutal reality of the NFL, my friends. In training camp, they will have limited reps to distribute. They will have limited spots on the roster. And when you have Dexter and Jarrett as your starters, Billings as your run-stuffing specialist, Turner as your explosive rookie, and other defensive linemen fighting for spots, what value does Pickens bring? His injury history is concerning. His production has been minimal. His availability has been questionable. And now, when he needs to make the strongest possible impression, he's leaving practice early under mysterious circumstances. I'm telling you this. If Pickens can't turn this around immediately in training camp, his career with the Bears is done. There are no second chances when a new coaching staff is evaluating everyone. There's no benefit of the doubt when your track record is inconsistent. But if that surprises you, wait to hear this about a rookie who's doing exactly the opposite. Ruben Hyppolite, 4th round pick from Maryland, and this kid is drinking every opportunity like he's been walking through a desert without water. For days, listen up. While TJ Edwards was absent and Amen Ogbongbemiga injured, Hyppolite got the chance to work with the starters, and Ben Johnson named him one of his biggest surprises. Do you know what that means? I'll tell you what it means. It means when opportunity knocked on his door, he didn't just open it, he kicked it down. This kid admitted his head was swimming with the complexity of Dennis Allen's system. But do you know what he did? He dove into the playbook like his life depended on it. But let me paint you the full picture of what's going on here. Hyppolite was a 4th round pick, 121st overall. That's not a pick that normally gets immediate attention. Most 4th round picks have to fight tooth and nail just to make the roster, much less work with the starters in OTAs. But here's what's special about this situation. Ben Johnson doesn't do favorites based on draft position. He evaluates based on performance, based on attitude, based on work ethic. And Hyppolite has shown all of the above from day one. Coach DA doesn't care if I haven't played this way before. I have to learn it and do it right when I get to play. Those are the words of a professional, my friends. When was the last time we heard a rookie talk like that in Chicago? Because let me explain something about Dennis Allen's defense. This system is complex. It requires linebackers who can do multiple things. Cover tight ends in man coverage, drop into zone, blitz from different angles, stuff the run between the tackles. It's not just about being fast or strong, it's about being smart and versatile. And here comes the really impressive part. While other veteran defenders complained over the last month about how complex and difficult the system was, Hyppolite simply rolled up his sleeves and got to work. That's navy and orange mentality, baby. But do you know what I like most about this kid? His approach. He's not waiting for the information to come to him. He's actively seeking guidance from TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. He's spending time with them off the field. He's participating in defensive team events. That is how you build relationships that will help you succeed. Because here's the reality of the linebacker position for the Bears. Edwards and Edmonds are established veterans, but behind them, there was a big question mark. Who's going to be the 3rd linebacker? Who's going to contribute on special teams? Who's going to be ready if one of the starters gets injured? Hyppolite is positioning himself to be the answer to all those questions. And it's not just about the opportunity that arose with Edwards being absent. It's about how he responded to that opportunity. Look, I've seen countless rookies get opportunities and completely blow them. They panic, they overthink, they try to do too much. Hyppolite did the opposite. He admitted when his head was swimming, but immediately took steps to fix it. He didn't make excuses, he made adjustments. And here's what really separates him. His plan for the next 6 weeks until training camp. While other rookies are probably going to relax and coast, Hyppolite already has his plan mapped out. I'm going to sit my behind down somewhere. Obviously be in the playbook, train, just get ready for camp, get ready to compete, continue to get in shape every day, get in more shape than I already am. That's championship mentality. That's the type of player Ben Johnson wants on his team. That's the type of player Dennis Allen needs in his defense. But here comes the really crazy part, and just when you thought we were done, we get to what has all of Chicago buzzing. Colston Loveland, pick 10 overall. The rookie tight end who has the potential to do something no Bear has done in decades. Do you remember Mike Dicker? Please. Iron Mike is not just a legend, he is Chicago. The aviator glasses, the iconic mustache, the sweater vest, the attitude, everything about him screams Bears football. People still dress like him at Soldier Field after all these years. His 1,076 yards and 12 touchdowns as a rookie are franchise records that have stood for 63 years. 63 years, folks. Let me put that in perspective for you. When Dicker established those records in 1961, John F. Kennedy was president. The Beatles hadn't even released their first album. Chicago hadn't won a championship since 1963. That's how long these records have been standing. But I ask you this, can Loveland break those numbers? Technically, he has the talent. Brock Bowers already broke Dicker's NFL record with 1,076 yards last season with the Raiders. Bowers saw 153 targets, almost 10 per game, and finished with 112 receptions for 1,194 yards and 5 touchdowns. But do you know why Bowers had so much success? Because he was practically the only reliable target the Raiders had. Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell were throwing to him constantly because they didn't have other options. Davante Adams got traded. They didn't have established receivers. Their running game was inconsistent. Bowers was the guy. But here's the reality of Chicago, my friends. Loveland is not going to be their only target like Bowers was. We have Cole Kmet established as TE1, and Kmet has proven he can produce 70 receptions for 719 yards last season. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and rookie Luther Burden III. Ben Johnson is going to distribute the ball among all these weapons. And here's something many fans aren't considering: Johnson's offensive philosophy. This man didn't build his reputation in Detroit just by throwing the ball. He created a balanced attack that kept defenses guessing. Heavy running game with Montgomery and Gibbs, play action passes, creative formations. His system maximizes everybody's talent, not just one player. But does that mean Loveland can't succeed? Absolutely not. In fact, I think this system is going to be perfect for his skill set. Loveland has the size at 6'5", 247 pounds. He has the hands. He has the route running ability. At Michigan, he was reliable in the red zone, good at finding soft spots in zone coverage, and tough enough to work over the middle. The problem isn't his talent. The problem is opportunity. Ditka's record-breaking season happened because he was the featured target. Loveland is going to have to compete for targets not just with Kmet, but with all the skill position players. But here's where it gets interesting, folks. If Johnson decides to use a lot of 12 personnel, that's 2 tight ends on the field. Loveland could get significant playing time alongside Kmet. Imagine the matchup problems that would create for opposing defenses. You've got Kmet, who's proven. You've got Loveland, who's a rookie but highly talented, plus Moore, Odunze, and Burden. I think expectations should be more realistic. Between 400 and 500 yards, 3 or 4 touchdowns for his rookie season. Is that successful for a Pick 10? Absolutely! Because it's not just about the numbers, it's about the growth, the learning, the contribution to winning. But breaking Ditka's records, that will require a perfect storm of circumstances. Kmet would have to get injured, the receivers would have to struggle, and Johnson would have to abandon his balanced approach and focus heavily on the passing game. I don't see that happening, but can Loveland eventually break those records during his career? Now we're talking. This kid has all the tools. If he develops properly in Johnson's system, if he builds chemistry with Caleb Williams, if he becomes a reliable red zone target, in his second or third year, when he fully understands the offense and has earned more targets, then we might see an assault on Ditka's records. Because here's what many people don't realize about tight end development. Most tight ends don't have their best seasons as rookies. Look at Travis Kelce. He had 67 receptions for 862 yards in his second year, but he didn't really explode until year 3. Rob Gronkowski had good rookie numbers, but his dominant years came later. Loveland has the benefit of learning from Kmet, who's been productive in Chicago. He has the benefit of playing in Johnson's system, which we know can maximize tight end production. And he has the benefit of playing alongside multiple weapons that will prevent defenses from focusing solely on him. Look, Chicago folks, these 3 stories tell us everything about the present and future of our Bears. Can Pickens save himself in training camp, or is he already marked for departure? Can Hyppolite maintain this momentum and become the future linebacker we desperately need? And will Loveland have the opportunities to shine in such a talented offense? I'm telling you this season with Ben Johnson is going to be different from anything we've seen. This organization finally understands what it means to be from Chicago, and each of these guys will have to prove they belong to this hard-working city. The case of Pickens breaks my heart because I really wanted him to succeed, but the NFL is a cruel business, and if you can't stay healthy, if you can't produce, if you can't seize opportunities when they're presented, you get replaced. Simple as that. Hyppolite, on the other hand, represents everything we want to see in a Bear. Hard work, dedication, humility, and the drive to get better every single day. That kid could be special, and if he continues on this path, he could be a cornerstone of this defense for years to come. And Loveland, look, breaking Ditka's records would be incredible, but that's not the measuring stick for success. The measuring stick is helping this team win games. If he can contribute to a championship, if he can be a reliable target for Caleb Williams, if he can help establish a winning culture, that would be more valuable than any individual record. Do you think Pickens deserves another chance, or is it time to cut losses? Will Hyppolite be our next Brian Urlacher or Lance Briggs? Can Loveland be the missing piece for this offense to explode and finally bring a championship back to Chicago? Let me know in the comments, because I want to hear what you all think. This is a family of fans who live and breathe Bears football every single day of the year. If you're excited about what's coming for the Bears, if you're ready for a season that could change everything, give this video a like. If you want to be part of this Chicago fan family that never gives up on our team, subscribe to the channel, because tomorrow we'll have more explosive news that will change everything we believe about this season. See you tomorrow, Bear Down. And remember, Chicago doesn't play. Bear Down for life.